What's going on, guys? Today we are starting the first episode of the brand new podcast, and we have my boy Jimmy right here, right? So I decided to choose Jimmy not only because of Jimmy's influence and his influence in the space in Web3, is because I already know Jimmy, right? Me and Jimmy have already been in a Discord. I guess it's kind of like Web2 ish, right? More of like reselling, FBA, NFTs, right? A lot of alpha, a lot of things that can just help you grow financially, right? So we definitely like that Discord. But we're gonna go ahead and start off with Jimmy himself, right? Who are you? Where are you from? Just the regular Jimmy, the Web 2 Jimmy, not the Web 3 MAYC Jimmy.
Okay, I like that. First and foremost, Brandnewflix, thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
We've known each other a couple years now through Discord reselling. So let's start on the Web2 side of me. Web2 side, I just resell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I resell random items, tickets. We do a little Amazon FBA,
Okay.
eBay selling. I got into reselling around 2018 when I was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Off with sneakers. I was a bit late to the game, so I didn't make as much money there,
What
but
kind
we
of what
still.
kind of sneakers?
So sneakers, I went into Yeezys
Okay.
mostly,
Like this is when
but
it was hard to get because you said 2016. So like this is when you're going on the app with the raffle and it's like super hard to cop.
yeah, it was around 2018. It was very hard just because everyone was botting,
Mm,
super saturated, and you could basically never get Yeezys. And whenever you did get them, you would only make a small ROI on them just because everyone had them at that point and they were mass producing them.
right.
So got into sneakers, then did that for 2 years, sneakers slash reselling and streetwear. After that, during 2020, I got into this reselling group where we met
Right.
and we had a bunch of random items that we were flipping, items that you can find in Target and Walmart, on Amazon, Best Buy. And you know the deal. We would just use bots. We would
Grinding.
be Discord.
Yeah.
We were always first to the news, so we would buy those items, sell them for a premium, and pocket the money. Keep on doing it, and it's a snowball effect. You make money, you can invest more in, and that's how you end up making a lot of money.
Right. Okay. So would you suggest that to people who have maybe seen that, right? Maybe people who are like the age that you said you were around 16, or maybe even people who are past 16, people who are in their 20s, early 30s. Would you suggest that as something that they get into as far as like a side hustle or making it their main thing if they've never done that before?
Great question. So, in my opinion, whatever age you are,
Mm-hmm.
try to do something different besides your 9 to 5. The
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5 covers your bills and your monthly expenses, but the way you're going to be able to travel, make more money, build a business is by trying other side hustles.
Right.
So, a very effective hustle is the one we do, reselling. You pay a certain amount for a product, you sell it on eBay, maybe local, on Amazon, you turn a profit, and it's basically how much time you put into it,
Mm.
the more you're going to make. So you put in 3 hours of your free time, you're going to make money. You put in 6 hours, you're going to make even more. And after a while, you learn how the game is played, and it's a snowball effect.
Mm.
You pocket the profit, you reinvest even more. Next time you can buy 5 units. You
Right.
make some, next time you can buy seven. And it just snowballs, and you get to the point where you have people making $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, even more from the side hustle. Then, because of that, you can quit your 9 to 5 and put those 8 hours into reselling make even more.
Mm-hmm.
So you're financially free, you have more time to yourself, you do something you actually enjoy. It depends on the person if you enjoy reselling or not, but I do think it's more enjoyable than going in an office or working at a store as a manager for 8 hours a day.
Right, right. It's definitely more enjoyable. So I would say too, one more thing we're just gonna talk about since we're on that topic too. What are the other things you think you get from being in these groups, right? Other than like, I know we brought up the financial benefits a lot, but what are some other things you feel like you get from being in these paid discords? That kind of filter people out, right? Like how they have like the Dust Labs had their useless application. We're seeing a lot of NFTs use these applications to filter people out to get on their whitelist. What is one of the things you feel like is benefiting you from joining these like Discord groups or just groups in general, right? That are paid groups.
Okay, I would say a major benefit of joining those groups is you start to become more patient as a person,
Mm,
and you learn how to master patience because at first you see all these people in the group making thousands of dollars and you don't know where to start. You just paid an X amount to join the group, the monthly subscription, and you're struggling to make money. There's all these channels in the Discord. You don't know where to start. So I think it helps you become a person that can be more, how do you say this? Mm, wait. When it comes to doing different things, you can take more risks.
mm,
You can go look into stuff because a lot of people at first, they're afraid to put their money into a product.
right,
But when it comes to reselling, you just see what the situation is. Sometimes there's free returns on an item. You have 30 days to sell it. If you don't sell it, you can return and get your money back, no risk.
right.
But a lot of people don't know that. They think they buy an item and they're afraid they're going to get stuck with the item.
Mm.
And that's the thing. So I think you develop patience.
And so I guess too another thing you were talking about is kind of like the risk management too. Like you're getting a sense of like risk management now as far as like your investments, right? Because like even reselling products is definitely a risk. Not as big of a risk as it is with these NFTs that can go to zero, but it is a big risk, right? So I guess we were just gonna go ahead and start. This is supposed to be more of the icebreaker. I know we talked about the reselling part a lot, but this section of the interview is called buzzwords, right? So whenever I interview somebody, I always try to have something that's like just like a little more like icebreaker, like easy, friendlier to get into. So with the buzzwords, it's basically a game, and it's a collection of 17 words, right? That are tailored to each person that I'm gonna have on the podcast, depending on who you are in Web3 and like some of the things that I see on your Twitter page, or just things that I know you talk about, or things that you might be interested in. So when I give you these words, right, we're gonna put you on a 3 minute timer. Um, I got 17 words to give you. When I give you each word, you're just going to tell me the first thing that pops in your head, right? So example would be rug, right? Like if somebody told me rug, the first thing that pops in my head is scam. So like when you're giving these answers back, you can either make it a one word answer, you can make it a sentence, you can make it a paragraph, but we're going to try to knock all of them out within 3 minutes, right? So let me just set this timer real quick. You got the rules for this one real quick?
Yep, we're ready. I'm
Okay.
excited.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start you on three. One, two, three. So the first word is metaverse.
Decentraland,
Okay. Gym.
bicep workout,
Okay. BAYC.
mutant ape yacht club,
Okay. Hasbullah.
guns,
Rick and Morty.
our gobblers,
Ethereum.
Vitalik.
Okay. M1. A weird picture of Vitalik just popped in my head. M1.
What's the next word?
M1.
And one,
Mm. And you're almost at a minute, so you got like 2 minutes left.
two,
Two. Okay. Cali.
palm trees,
Okay. Memes.
memes, mimetic,
April.
April Fools,
Blue chip.
Bored Ape Yacht Club,
Stocks.
Tesla,
Trading.
crypto.
Shoeies.
You got.
I already said one of these are on here twice. I just noticed it, so we're gonna skip that one. I'm gonna add another one though. Generational wealth.
Ooh, Moonbird's Mint,
Mm, okay, and Twitter Spaces, and then we got one more after this.
Twitter Spaces, Farouk,
Okay, and then we're gonna make the last one blockchain.
blockchain, Solana.
Solana. Okay, all right. So you got around like 2 minutes right there. We're gonna have it on screen officially, so the people who are watching this video they get to see how long it took. But as the first person on the podcast, you passed. All right, so congratulations. Um, I was gonna have a gift for you guys. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I'm not gonna say we're not gonna get a gift, but everybody who passes that test, I'm gonna end up sending you guys a gift all at the same time. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do it, but y'all can hold me to that, right? So we're gonna jump back into some more things about you, right, and your just perspective on Web3. Um, so I guess another thing I want to talk about is just some things that you feel like you can contribute to the space, or you are going to contribute to the space, right? While you're participating in Web3, right? And how long have you been in Web3? And when you started in Web3, like what what pulls you towards Web3, whether it was a friend, like somebody sending you an NFT, like X, Y, and Z. So just speak on some of those things, or as far as like how you got into Web3, like whether it was through a friend or you found it yourself, and then just some of the things you want to contribute to the space now, because obviously you have a lot of followers, and you've been in a lot of projects. You've minted a lot of projects. I know we've minted some projects together that did good. We've also had some projects that did bad, but overall, from my perspective, outward looking in, majority of the things have been positive.
Okay, so great questions. I'm gonna start with how I got into Web3.
Okay.
So I got into Web3 through the reselling group. We always find new ways to make money. So when NBA Top Shot came up
Mm,
in late 2020, some people from the group started to dabble into it a bit. A lot of us weren't familiar with it. We found it very odd that videos of NBA players scoring or defending, basically NBA highlights, were going for a lot of money. So we didn't go into it instantly, but we waited a bit. We did some research, but once we saw that with $9 per pack, you can make 1,000 back within one day.
mm,
We all went into it January of 2021. So that's how I got started. Made some profits there. Thought NFTs were a quick money thing,
mm,
get get out. So I didn't move on to ETH NFTs after that. I took a break for a couple months, traded some shit coins, made some profits, lost some money. But after that, I got into NFTs, specifically ETH NFTs during the summer of 2021.
okay.
I minted a couple projects such as Ape Gang and Fame Lady Squad, which were OG projects back then. I
Fame
minted.
Lady Squad. What did Fame Lady Squad look like?
So basically, Fame Lady Squad was deemed the first woman project in the space.
Mm.
It ended up being three Russian men running it. So it went to zero, and some woman from the space came in and they took over the project, thankfully. But yes, that's the first woman-led project.
Wow.
They took over and actually made it one, but you see how the space was sketchy from the jump. Um, to go on to the other questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my account in 2022, early 2022. I
Mm.
started, I saw there was a niche that was up and coming. It was shit posting, posting memes. And basically, what I did was use entertainment and news together. So I entertain people while keeping them updated on the latest NFT news. So that's how my account blew up. And another way my account blew up was by me replying to 300 tweets a day. I was one of the first people to do that.
Mm.
I used logic to do it. I was like, okay, how do I get more people to see my account? Basically, just become friends with more people in the space, leave a genuine comment, connect with people, talk in the DMs. So that's what I did. Now everyone does that.
Right.
And you see people tweeting 1,000 times a day, but
With bots from Fiverr.
their replies are not actually building a genuine human connection.
Right.
So those accounts are definitely going to die. That meta is going to die and something else is going to take over. Now, on to the next question. What have I contributed to Web3?
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, I've paved the way for more creators to come in and try becoming a big account in the NFT space, try having influence.
Mm-hmm.
I've helped a lot of people one-on-one when it comes to content creation because I get a lot of DMs. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? It's always good to help people. A lot of people that are big in the space, they see others as their competition, and that shouldn't be a thing.
Mm.
We should all help each other to grow, become smarter, and better ourselves because 2 years from now, when there's going to be another bull run, we're going to have an influx of people coming into the space. We might have 1 million people come in. We might have 5 million people come in. The number of people in the space right now is going to be so small compared to the people we're going to have in the space in 2 years, where it doesn't even matter to be competitive with others.
Right.
It's not productive. It's not going to take you anywhere. It's best to just build with each other, help each other grow, and just make friends because years down the line, you're going to have built those valuable connections with people who are going to be building the next big NFT project, the next media company, the next DeFi project.
Right.
In my opinion, it's just best to be friends with each other, be genuine. We have a lot of people who scam, rug, take money, do shady practices,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think it's the way. But unfortunately, that thing happens because it's crypto, it's NFTs, everyone is anonymous. And what I plan to contribute to the space, I plan to pave the way for new content creators
Mm-hmm.
to be encouraged to join the space and make their own content. Now, the way I'm going to do that is by running Twitter spaces, getting whoever wants to speak, bringing them up, letting them speak, listen to them, give them feedback. I think that's super important, letting people speak. A lot of people are nervous when they come up, and it's natural because you're in a room with a bunch of strangers. It might be 100 people, 200 people in a room. So it's natural that people are nervous.
Right.
You have to welcome them, encourage them, and congratulate them when they actually come up and speak. I think that's very important to do. And also, I'm dabbling a bit into video content creation. I think that's going to be the next big thing because a lot of people, the past couple of months, they have gotten very bored from all the anonymous shit posters and memers. And I think at this point, people just want to see a genuine face. They want to see someone who actually goes out there and does something different and is not a copycat.
Mm.
And they just want to see something that hasn't been done before or has been done at a small scale. So I think that's a very untapped market for now. And we should encourage all people to be themselves, better themselves, and take the risks, take the step, and do what you want.
Right. Okay, yeah. So that's it. So you said a lot. You said a lot right there. And two, I feel another thing I feel like you spoke on, right? As far as the way you gain more followers, you kind of define shit posting too, because I was gonna ask you what you thought shit posting was, but like just from what you said, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you think shit posting is a mixture of entertainment and news, right?
Correct.
Okay, so definitely you use like the shit posting as your like main way to kind of like bring like impressions to you and your brand and your page. And then like a lot of people say over and over and over again is the consistency, because you said you posted not posted but replied to 300 posts a day. So that's a lot of consistency right there. A lot of people can't even make 10 tweets in a day, right? Even if they're saying GM 10 times, right?
Oh,
um,
yes.
and then you used the collaboration, which I didn't really think about. I feel like you did the collaboration thing naturally, just from you being in the Discord as far as doing reselling and like other business things and ventures. So you kind of like got the collaboration thing down packed, like you said, and you're a genuine person, so you're just obviously gonna collaborate with other genuine people. And then I feel like you kind of spoke into what's coming next to the space, and you said real faces, right? And then the video creation content. And I definitely
Exactly.
feel like we're seeing the video creation content from brands like Azuki, right? Pudgy Penguins. I'm trying to think of another brand. I don't want to say one that just minted, uh, but there's definitely a lot of blue chips, quote unquote blue chips, that are using the real life content creation, like you just said.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Utes and DGOTS people doing IRL content as well. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when these are people that you see every single day on Twitter, that you're following, and they're posting, 5 or 10 times a day on your timeline, but you can never really connect the face to it. So I definitely like that. We're gonna go ahead and go and switch over to um, just some of the biggest wins and losses, right, that you had in the Web3 space. So like when we say biggest wins and losses, it could be it doesn't have to all be monetary, right? I know a lot of people think about like losing and winning ETH, right? But it could just be maybe you minted a project, or you went to a certain event and you got to make a connection with someone else, right? Who ended up being a big NFT founder, or someone who just, gave you consistent information or gave you different opportunities from meeting them. So like we're just going to talk about, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the L first, and then we're going to move on to the W. But can you just speak on one thing of each, right? That's kind of stuck in the back of your head that you feel like you won't forget. As far as like me, I know I have NFTs. You already know which one. I'm not even gonna say it. You already know which one my NFT is, right? I had an NFT that was worth a lot of money. I've had a lot of different NFTs, um, but that one I didn't actually lose like monetary value. I just didn't get the max ROI that I could have, right? So could you just speak on those as far as your W's and your L's?
So let's start from the L's first.
Mm-hmm.
In the bull market, you make a lot of money from projects that have no potential to last, and you also lose a lot of money by putting it into those projects, thinking they're going to last. So one of my biggest losses, I would have to say, is the Seed of Life,
Mm-hmm.
the Arbitrum network from the Magic ecosystem. I did buy the absolute top on that. I paid $20.
Wow.
And yeah, right before the end of 2022, I sold it for the amount of 69 cents. So that was a
That's
loss of
that was tough. Mm-hmm.
not right. It's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Now onto other quote unquote losses because it's not actually a loss. I just didn't ride it up to its full potential. I minted a cool cat for $50, sold it for 150 the same day. I was new to the NFT space. I thought that was a pretty good trade. I made $100 in one trade.
Right.
Later, it's up to 40 grand. So yeah, that stinks.
That's crazy.
At that what's happening in the space because yes, you did make $100. You can't possibly know the future. You don't know if it's going to go to 40 ETH,
Right.
that or if it's going to go to zero. So, in my opinion, to avoid that, you mint at least three of them and you sell one to cover your cost, sell the second to make profits, and keep one for the moon bag. That's always the best method
Mm-hmm.
if it's possible for you to get three of an NFT. Now, I want to speak on another loss, which is hilarious. There was this one collection. It was about the main animal in the collection was a bunny.
Okay.
They had two teams. It was the light bunnies and the dark bunnies, and they envisioned making this game where they would have both teams fight each other, and they would have stats such as strength or health.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a video game they were trying to build. Obviously, they didn't end up building it, but back then I was trading every day and I was active in all the discords. So I was in that discord and suddenly I see Gary V pop in. And whenever Gary V pops in the chat back in the day,
It goes
you know,
crazy. Yeah.
it's about to pump. So someone I saw Gary in there, he was hyping it up. So I straight up went and spent on a rare one.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what happened an hour later? I found out it was a fake Gary V account. It wasn't even the real Gary V account,
Oh my god, that's tough.
you know? But back then, time was of the essence. So whenever Gary V joined and was about to pump something, you had to get in first. So it was a ridiculous move on my part, not doing research, very reckless. But I straight up went, paid $100, bought that Super Bunny,
Mm-hmm.
and a year later, I sold it to one of our friends, Sam,
Mm-hmm.
just tax write-off, and just to remember this core memory, I sold it for a 99% loss.
Damn.
So yeah, lost on the seed. Oh, and now I'm gonna talk about my biggest win,
Right.
followed by another L, which is funny.
All right.
So my big win in the space, it was when I started accumulating ApeCoin, just because I knew other deeds were going to being minted using ApeCoin.
Mm-hmm.
So around $9 to $11, I accumulated around $30,000 worth of ApeCoin. That was with the airdrop I got from my mutant ape. So I wrote that. ape coin up to the top. I used it all. I minted 9 other deeds.
That's a
I
lot.
made a I made a bunch of deals with people in the Discord. I offered to pay their gas fees and mint for them, so I could mint one and they could mint one as well. I made a lot of those deals. That's why I was able to mint 9 other deeds. So after minting 9 other deeds, me and Sam, we were actually sharing 2 or 3 accounts and we were sharing a total of 6 other deeds. So we said to each other, if we get a quota, we split it. We ended up revealing a quota,
Mm-hmm.
and I also revealed a quota on my own lands.
Wow.
So we ended up selling one of the quotas for 7K. I sold another quota for 8, and then I sold the rest of my lands except for two plus the free airdrop from my mutant ape. Now, this is a huge win, but also a huge fumble because the free airdrop that I got for owning my mutant ape was worth $45,000 on the day of mint, and I did not sell it. Now it's about $3,000.
Wow.
So that was me being all, you guys gonna go to the moon. I don't want to sell the Yuga asset. Very dumb, right? Whenever something is too good to be true, you should just take the profits and run.
Mm-hmm.
And now getting to the other part of the story. After me and my friend Sam, after we made those profits, we both had the monolith one from Artifact,
Right.
and paid about $20 for it, and it was worth up to 30K now.
Okay.
So
And for people who don't know, the monolith is the it was it the Nike box or whatever. It was like the silver looking box.
the silver, it was the first Nike box they came out with, which was a free airdrop for Clonix holders. We paid $20 each. We bought the box. A couple months later, it was 30K.
Mm.
Right after we made those profits, we decided to gamble by opening the box. Now, the downside was not big since it was 30K. If we opened the box and got all the common assets, they would still be worth 25K. So yes, there was a downside of 5K,
Mm.
but compared to the upside of pulling the rarest artifact vial, which was worth 700K, it was not big. So we
Right.
decided to gamble and open it. We did that. We didn't get anything. We did not sell our assets and we held them during the bear market. We ended up selling them for K. So we could have had that 30K, but instead we took a loss of about K.
Mm.
So those were some of my biggest losses, my biggest wins. Obviously, I have some more, but those are the most significant ones.
Okay. Yeah, and then yeah, you we don't have to we don't have to name drop in the numbers on every single one of them because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be people who go back and add these numbers up, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool though. I'm glad you told that because that was super transparent. So I guess after you saying that, I guess what was one of the things you would say as far as like either to yourself or to someone else who's new into the space as far as like things you can do as risk management, right? Because one thing I would tell myself, right, and I kind of feel like I learned from the NFT, which people might think is kind of like silly, right? Like, oh, like, why did you have to wait until you got an NFT or asset that was worth X amount of money, like, 6 figures plus, for you to learn this lesson? But for me, it's whenever you get an item, right, that has like, I guess they call like life changing value, right? As far as even the guy who had the Dogecoin, right? There's a lot of people who like go back and forth with the Dogecoin millionaire. I don't know if you know who that is or not.
I've seen a couple of videos.
Yeah, so they kind of like bash him because he got in Dogecoin early and he's still holding his Dogecoin. He even got on a podcast with Stephen Graham, who's like I don't know if he's a financial advisor or not, but he's real popular as a YouTube investor, right? And they had like 2 hour sit down with him, and they were telling him like, hey, you need to sell this Dogecoin, or take some profits, because this is life changing money for you in your situation. So for me, I said all that to say, if you ever get, whether it's an NFT, an asset, a gift that's worth a life changing amount of value, you need to first cash that out so you can have a realized profit, right? Because that's a lot of things people don't talk about in NFTs. Like, a lot of these profits that these people have are not realized, right? We probably know some people who are holding stuff that's like how you just talked about before. Even though it's the bear market, there's some mints right now that people minted 6-8 months ago that are still up 10-50x, right, from the initial price, and they don't want to sell it because in their mind they have already realized profit because the floor is a certain number. But I would just say, always sell when you have life changing money, right? And then the second thing I would say that's like on the less like super secure side is like when you spoke about the monolith boxes, right? So you're buying the monolith box. I know this is not going to be the exact number that you said, but you might have bought the box for 10K. If you open the box, the lowest you can get on your return on your investment is 5K, right? But the highest you might have been 100K. So like you're weighing the risk to the reward. So when you're playing with these NFTs, or you're playing with these assets just in general for your risk management, you kind of have to have the before and after thought process, right? You won't want to just think about what the floor is. You kind of want to think about what happens if you take this action. You know what I'm saying? If that made sense.
Exactly. I like those points because the mind always plays games with us. We see the big number. We got in when it was low, it's up 10x.
Mm-hmm.
And the mind tricks us into thinking that we already have those profits and it's secured and it can only go up from there. But like we saw those past couple of months, everything has been on a downtrend. So whoever had the Clone X, which had a floor of, I don't remember, $40,000, whatever it was, they thought, oh, I got in for only 5K. I'm up 35K right now. But they never would have predicted that the floor is going to go down 80, 90%
Mm-hmm.
past few months. So in reality, like you said, you don't have the money until you've cashed it out into your bank account. That's the reality of the situation. And the reason a lot of people have regret is because they feel very euphoric. And normally, when you have that feeling, you should take the profits.
Mm-hmm.
Most people didn't, so they're down.
Mm-hmm.
Because with 50K or any amount of money, you can use it to open a business. You can use it as a down payment to a house. You can use it to buy a car. You can use it to pay for your college tuition.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't take that into account. And in the end, all they have is regret. But also, I'm not going to be all negative about it. There's a positive side to you going through that experience. It's that when the opportunity comes again, and it will come around again, it's not a once in a lifetime thing. Obviously, it might not be NFTs again. It might be some other technological advancement that comes out. You
Right.
never know. It might talk, but you will know that when the money is too good, when you want to take a screenshot and post it on social media, you should just take the profits and change your life because the money is life changing.
Right. Right. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wrap it up, right? I feel like for the wrap up, you can either choose. I'm gonna let you choose between these two. You can either give alpha, right? Some type of alpha, whether it's like an investment strategy, maybe a stock you're looking at, NFT you're looking at, something that you have coming up in collaboration with someone else, right? Or you can just go ahead and leave with like some words of wisdom as far as things people should be doing in the NFT space, right? are just like just good practices, motivational stuff.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna leave some words of wisdom here. The way to become successful and rich is by getting a full 8 hours of sleep,
Mm-hmm.
waking up early, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., working out, eating healthy, and reading. That's 90% of it. If you follow those habits religiously, you're going to realize that you will feel better as a person, your mind is more functional, and you have more motivation to do your work and get off your phone because a lot of people they get addicted to social media, myself included.
Mm-hmm.
It's what our generation is all about, being on the phone, scrolling for hours and not remembering anything we saw afterwards.
Right.
So it's just hours wasted and our dopamine receptors get fried, and that's not good at all. So, like I said, eat healthy, sleep 8 hours, wake up early, go to the gym, and read. That's all you need to do, and everything will follow. And Brandnewflix, thank you so much for having me on your show, bro.
Yes, sir. So this is the first one of many. I'm gonna be very picky who gets on here. Everybody that I reach out to might not hit me back, but I feel like we started this off perfect with you. And then, like I told you before it started, this is Women's Month, so the next person who's coming is a woman. And then after that, I'm gonna kind of like slowly release them. But I'm glad we got this started with you. If this does end up keep on, going and snowballing, obviously I'll be doing it in person, right? In person, I feel like it'll be probably a little bit longer, but I just want to keep it a little short. I know a lot of people don't have outlets they can watch, interviews and videos on people that are either like influencers or just people that they follow that they know that's well known in the space. For me, I'm kind of going for people who were here when I first started NFTs, right? When I feel like I couldn't make a flip and like till now, and the people who have stayed there and have a good track record as far as like not rugging people, right? Not doing tens and thousands of paid NFT shills, right? And then just being active consistently by themselves and not using like AI or Fiverr. So I appreciate you for coming and spending your time today on the podcast. Hopefully this goes crazy on YouTube. I'm just gonna put this everywhere on YouTube and just the links as far as like Twitter and TikTok. But your name will be up here, so definitely send me those. And I appreciate you, man. And we want to see what you got coming, and we definitely gonna stay in contact. Uh, Only thing I think I did skip. I know this is the end, but for the people who watched towards the end, we just gonna put this in here because we did have some people that asked you some questions. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ask some of their questions real quick and throw them in here as a little extra tidbit. Um, so let's go ahead and start off with the first one we have right here. So we had now these are Twitter questions now, guys. These are Twitter
Okay.
questions. We try to keep it professional as possible. Um, so we have this guy right here, ape now pay later, right? And you don't have to disclose if you know these people or not. This guy says, ask him if he puts his socks on before showering.
That's a great question. So, personally, I prefer to take my socks off before showering.
Okay. And then we have DTE Frev from Twitter. He has a rec dude or rec guy, PFP, right? He's asking, well, he's not really asking. He just said, tell him a big thank you for my behalf. So I don't know if he's just saying thank you because of your information or your entertainment, or maybe he felt like you called some alpha for him that made him some money.
I
But
appreciate
yeah, he just wanted to shout out and say thank you. And then this person, we're gonna leave this one as the last one, even though we had upwards of like 10 plus people ask a question. This person, Sweepers Club had a good amount of followers. He asked, uh, he wanted to know what your breakfast routine was. I know you said wake up early. We're gonna go ahead and end the podcast on that one. What is your breakfast routine?
Okay, breakfast routine. So typically, I try to fast and not eat breakfast
Mm.
and go straight into working or hitting a workout. But if I were to eat breakfast, I would eat toasted bread with butter and honey and some fruits on the side.
Okay. Yeah, that's a I like that. I like the fruits. You can never start off the day wrong when you're eating fruits, man. So once again, I appreciate you coming to the podcast, Jimmy. We're gonna have this up very, very, very soon. And yeah, peace, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. It was a pleasure.